Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us. We're still bringing you this live coverage, the live broadcast rather, on NBC. This is the state memorial of the late MATHIAS Kanana HISHOONO. And now I want to understand the man that we are, of course, commemorating here today. And we want to speak to Ngiteka Samson Yangiteka, a family member of the late MATHIAS Kanana HISHOONO, just to give us a bit about who this man was. And of course, share his message as well. Very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Simpson.
Very good morning, sir. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Talk to us. If you could just describe MATHIAS Kanana HISHOONO, who was he like to you as a family member?
I'm very much afraid to start describing Kanana HISHOONO. Kanana HISHOONO was a historian man. And when you talk to him, and when you are talking about him, you must be also like a historian to talk Kanana HISHOONO as he was. Kanana HISHOONO, really, to us, he was not any ordinary family member, but he was a special person in our family. Kanana was one of the advisors, the most advisors of the family. Kanana, he was a unifier of the family, and he know every one of us. So he taught us to love each other and respect one another. Kanana HISHOONO, when he came up from abroad, it was just like we were dreaming. And he started to visit each and every family member. And Kanana HISHOONO visited everybody. He attended all the events, good or bad. And the way he can't attend, he can send somebody to deliver the logistic that may be needed at that event. Yeah.
If we take a look at what we are having now, we are of course celebrating his life. Why do you think it's important for us as Namibians to honor him today?
Yeah, already, as I said at the very beginning, to celebrate Kanana's life today, it's very, very much important, not only to the family, but to the Namibian nation as well. Because Kanana HISHOONO, as I said, he was a historian man. Remember, the dead is a special loss to everybody. And to lose Kanana HISHOONO is just like you have lost a library burned down to ashes, or the entire archive, national archive, lost. So that's why we say it's very much important for us to celebrate his life, because Kanana HISHOONO was not only known at this village or in the surrounding villages. Kanana HISHOONO know each and everybody in the village or in the area he find himself. He know all of the people, or most of all of the people he knows.
What message do you hope the late Kanana leaves the younger generation of Namibia? What message do you hope the late Kanana will leave the Namibian or the younger generation of Namibia?
Yeah, Kanana HISHOONO was a politician. Kanana HISHOONO was a Christian. He always telling us to be Christian. If you're a Christian, be a Christian. If you're a politician, must be a politician. We know in the late 60s up to now, Kanana was a politician who never wavered. He was a hero. Not only a hero of the liberation struggle of Namibia, but a hero to the family and to the whole nation as well. So he said, we have to work hard in order to remain as Namibians. Yeah.
So Samson, thank you so much for talking to us. Of course, I wish you and your family a great memorial today.
Thank you for having me. Have a nice day.
That was Mr. Samson Ngiteka was talking to us, who is actually the family member of the late MATHIAS Kanana Hishono, was giving us, of course, a glimpse into his life, what he was, who he was as a leader, as a family man, and of course a visionary of this country. We are still going to be bringing you more interviews to, of course, get to understand who this this giant was in the Ohangwena region. And what we just also now have seen is the arrivals, very, very notable arrivals of the president, former president of the Republic of India, Nangolo Mbumba, as well as the Speaker of the National Assembly also has made her arrival here at the homestead of the MATHIAS Kanana Hishono, that is Dr. Sarah Kuongerwa Amadila. We also have seen the arrival of the governor of the Ohangwena region also making her way earlier today, and now of course still expecting more arrivals of those that are going to be honoring his life today. But we want to bring you another conversation to understand who this giant was, and we're going to be speaking to Honorable Alpheus Aruseb, who is the Member of Parliament, also a comrade of the late MATHIAS Kanana Hishono. Honorable, thank you so much for speaking to us this morning. Perhaps just give us your understanding of, MATHIAS Kanana Hishono as a comrade. How would you describe him?
Well, maybe to contextualize it, I first came to be exposed to the late MATHIAS Kanana Hishono towards the last quarter of 1990. It was at the occasion when the leadership of the party, who happened to run the affairs of the party at the headquarters, notably Comrade Moses Tlaroep, his assistant, Reverend Festus Naholo, convinced me to join them at the headquarters from the Eenhana region with the post-designation as the coordinator at the headquarters level, national level, that is, of the mass organizations. Now, Date Kanana was at the headquarters then when I joined the headquarters. I think it was September 1990. And from that stage in my life, in the political development, that's where I came to get exposed to the person of the late Kanana Hishono.
How would you describe him as a leader? Of course, working alongside with him politically as well. How would you describe him, and what were some of the ideologies that you will never perhaps not forget that he has perhaps instilled within you and also a lot of Namibians?
Well, you know, when I joined the headquarters, as part of the cohorts of internal leaders of the party, of the liberation movement, SWAPO then, my ultimate objective was to get exposed to the way our external leaders, particularly the senior leaders, were running the affairs of the party inside the country. I thought at that point in time, and I still believe that that was the case, that I had sufficient exposure. But I wanted to be exposed to the caliber of leadership that we had at the headquarters then. The likes of Moses Karoep, Meme Pasukeni Shombe, Maxton Madungwelumes, inclusive of the late Kanana. Now, today, the person that I have ended up being in terms of political grooming, it was greatly attributed to the teachings and the guidance of the likes of the late Date Kanana Hishono.
Talk to us about the importance of us as Namibians honoring his life today and the contributions that he, of course, looking at the contributions he have brought to us as a country. What can young people especially learn from him, and what legacy does he leave behind?
We can honor Date Kanana through his teachings by, he was a very humble person. Humble in the sense that he had respect for, you know, when I joined the headquarters, I was less than 36 years old, probably 36 counting. But the kind of respect and general humane approach that I learned from him throughout my association with him. We can only honor him through adhering to his teachings, because he had a deep understanding of the theoretical origins of the mass movement that SWAPO was. He had a thorough understanding, and it was his life responsibly, for the lack of a better word, to pass it on to the generations like myself and the ones after us. So what we can probably keep up as his legacy is to enhance what he was standing for and inculcate the same spirit amongst those who probably today are looking up to some of us as the guiding light in terms of party inner life.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ngarusep, for speaking to us, for sharing such very important messages for us as Namibians. Indeed, we do know now who MATHIAS Kanana Hishoono was. We wish you, of course, a peaceful day for you as well here at the memorial.
You are welcome. Thank you for having me.
As Honorable Alpheus Ngarusep, a Member of Parliament, who also is on the program to share a message of condolences, as well as a tribute on behalf of comrades and friends. He will be on the program later on before it commences. Still notable arrivals that we are seeing here at the homestead of the late Kanana Hishoonno, and now we want to bring you another conversation to understand, more rather from more comrades who, of course, have to work alongside him. And what we are seeing now as well is the members of the military brass band, who are, of course, then already making their march all the way into the tent, and we also are seeing, perhaps also expecting the casket of the late, carrying the remains of the late MATHIAS Kanana Hishoonno to arrive anytime soon. We are still coming to you live from the Ohangwena region here at Onambutu Village, and of course commemorating the life at the state memorial of the late MATHIAS Kanana Hishoonno. That, of course, is being done here, and we are still bringing you the live broadcast on all our NBC platforms. That's on both on radio, on the television, NBC One, as well as on our digital platforms as well. We have heard from his former friends and family members who, of course, worked alongside him, who describe him as a visionary leader. Of course, someone who was very instrumental in the foundation of the SWAPO party, then Ovambo People's Party, or the Ovambo People's Organization, and of course then now SWAPO Party, as of course is known. And what we are learning, we have learned as well from the previous memorials that were held here. One of the memorials that was held earlier this week on Wednesday was that of the family members who honored him as well, who has, of course, celebrated his life. And through conversations that I've had with the family members of the late Hishoonno, is how much they honor him as one person who really was instrumental, especially when it comes to his political teachings. I'm now going to leave you to the initial sound of the arrival of the brass band, of course, that is making their way here at the main tent, in front of the main tent, here at the homestead of late Kanana Hishoonno. And that is now also expecting the remains of the late Kanana Hishoonno to also arrive soon. Of course, stay with us as we bring you this live broadcast. We'll be right back after this.
Salute you, comrade, we salute you. We salute The casket has arrived. It's just making its way to the tent.
We salute you, we salute you forever. We salute you, we salute you, comrade, we salute you. We salute you, comrade, we salute you. We salute you forever. We salute you, comrade, we salute you. We salute you, comrade, we salute you. We salute you, comrade, we salute you. We salute you forever. We remember Hishono, we remember. We remember Hishono, we remember. We remember Hishono, we remember. We remember forever. We remember Hishono, we salute you. We remember Hishono, we salute you. We remember Hishono, we remember. We remember forever. We salute Hishono, we salute you. We salute Hishono, we salute you. We salute Hishono, we salute you. We salute you forever.
Yeah, just hold.
John, just give a what is it, the name?
Yeah, it's okay.
You need water? Okay, stand by. All right.
What you're just seeing now is the arrival of the casket carrying the remains of the late Kanana Hishono. And what we are seeing as well, it was escorted here by the military, the NDF, as well as now to be accepted by the family of the late MATHIAS Kanana Hishono. And we are seeing the children of MATHIAS Kanana Hishono also there to receive the body. And what we also have seen is more arrivals to come. Of course, the chief mourner who is going to be Vice President of the Republic of Namibia, Lucia Verdboy, representing the President of the Republic of Namibia, Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah. Now we have here with me Mr. Ben Molongeni, who is of course not only was a friend of the late, but one who has also worked well close with him, and we just want to understand him from his friends. Mr. Ben Molongeni, thank you so much for speaking to us this morning. You were not only a friend of the late Kanana Hishoonoo, you worked well and close with him, of course, during the liberation struggle. Talk to us about how would you describe the late MATHIAS Kanana Hishoonoo?
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, I'm very touched. I met Tate Hishoonoo first, not in exile, but first here in Namibia after independence at the party in our headquarters. I worked with him. Yes, I was involved in drafting of SWAPO documents, manifestos, and other policy documents. And that's where I met him. And he really liked working with me in committees. We started having a SWAPO secretariat that makes sure that all the documents are prepared, policy documents and manifestos. And he also served as secretary for SWAPO Elders Council, where he normally invites me, to give intellectual advice, intellectual input. I know him as an ideologist. He's a freedom fighter. He's a Pan-Africanist. As an ideologist, really, we found, ways close to one another. Me, I'm also a Pan-Africanist, a freedom fighter, a revolutionarist. I don't think all freedom fighters are revolutionaries. It's one thing to have a freedom fighter, want to be revolutionary. Revolutionary will have revolutionary ideas, a revolutionary approach, and revolutionary ideology. So Kanana was one, and he's a teacher to us because he came a long way. He's one of the pioneers of liberation movement that we know now, SWAPO, early in the 60s. So he used to tell us all those stories as they were, engaged in the struggle. So, well, if one could have do something to extend his life, I wish he was still alive. Although after independence, not many people knew him as somebody in higher positions. But remember, not everybody in higher position have done much for the liberation. Maybe because you came from school and you are educated and then jump, you are in positions. But I think Kanana is such a prominent person, regardless of the fact that many young people, they were asking me, who is this one, where are you going to? So sometimes you look at somebody who's a minister or a member of parliament now, but he was equally or even more prominent and the role he played.
Talk to us about the legacy you believe he leaves behind for the young people, especially like you mentioned now. What legacy does he leave behind? Especially, of course, learning that he has made such a made a huge sacrifice for the freedom we celebrate today.
Yes, I know that he was in Cuba and he was with Namibians, young people there. He was guiding them, and I will tell you one incident where one or few of those young people, when they came back, they were struggling to adjust. He was advising them to extend them the children that are not his own. He took them, assisting them to register in Institute of Higher Learning here. Remember, they came from different environment. We can say socialist environment. The new culture here in Namibia, they could not find their way to be on their own, because in exile, children were taken care of. They were like in one family, the SWAPO family, but here it's an open society, it's democracy, so everybody take care of himself. And they tell me that's Kanana Hishoonoo. They told me that he took care of us. He get all the way, working them on food to UNAM, to help them the way to register, because they were confused. In exile, you pass, there's a chain, there's a program. But here, when you get home, some children have no parents, they got no mother, no father, but Kanana continue to guide those children. That's what I remember very well, yeah.
Your message to Namibians who are also equally honoring his life, what is your message to him, of course, what should we learn from him, and going forward, what really do we need to do better to honor those that, of course, equally like the late Hishono, to honor them better and also to celebrate them and, of course, uphold the what they have instilled in us?
Well, to the elders, we must say thank you to Kanana for what he has done. Whatever we are doing today, we may think that we are better educated, but somebody started from somewhere. Somebody started somewhere and he brought us where we are. He's one of them. But to the young people, I tell them maybe the best thing they can do is to study, because he encouraged young people to study, as I just narrated. Study and improve the conditions, economic conditions of Namibia. That's the only way you can do it. Study and discipline and try to find out the history of Namibia, the history of those are now going. If you got a chance, find one, sit down with the elders and you hear what happened, what was going on, where we came from. That's the best way to remember him. Yeah.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. I wish you a blessed memorial.
You too.
Mr. Ben Molongeni was speaking to us on behalf of friends, was just sharing his message of rather talking to us about who this gentle giant was, the late MATHIAS Kanana Hishoonno. And we are still bringing you the live broadcast of the State Memorial. As mentioned, of course, earlier, this coverage, of course, brings you what, of course, will be the proceedings of today, the message that will be, of course, will be taking place, that will also be shared here this morning. And this event, of course, is then expected to go as far as 5 o'clock. But for now, we hand you over to studio where my colleague Kalilo is bringing you the commentary and, of course, bring you the images live here from Onambutu Village in Ohangwena Region. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Thank you so much, Johnny Konja and team, for bringing us this special broadcasting coming live from the Ohangwena region. And a very good morning to you, dear listener, and thank you so much for tuning in to follow these special proceedings of the State Memorial Service of the late Tatekulu MATHIAS Kanana Hishoonno, who passed on the 14th of November on the 14th of January 2026. The late Tatekulu Kanana Hishoonno was born on the 24th of November in 1936 and passed on, of course, at the age of 89. And that was on the 14th of January 2026. And this special memorial service is taking place from his homestead at Onambutu Village in the Ohangwena region. And the late Tatekulu Kanana Hishoonno wasn't an ordinary person, but an extraordinary one, a liberation struggle icon of Namibia. He really played a very pivotal role during Namibia's liberation struggle for independence from 1960s up to 1989. And he continued with his contributions to Namibian independence from 1990, after we got our independence, until his untimely passing on the 14th of January 2026. And maybe we can look at some of his political career. Tatekulu Kanana Hishoonno has been the secretary of the SWAPO Party Elders Council since 1992 and a political advisor to our founding president, Dr. Sam Nujoma, since 1997. He first became politically active when working as a migrant laborer at one of the South African gold mines owned by Durban Road and Port Deep in the late 1950s. He corresponded with Tatekulu, the late Andimba Toivo, who was mobilizing Namibian workers to join the Ovamboland People's Congress, also known as or abbreviated as OPC, in Cape Town, and Tatekulu, the late Kanana Hishono, always referred to Tatekulu Toivo ya Toivo as his political mentor. On his return to Namibia, after working at such a mine, Tatekulu Kanana Hishono became a founding member of the SWAPO party in April 1960. And in 1961, he started working at the Chumeb Corporation Limited, a copper mine, and became the secretary of the SWAPO branch at Chumeb at that time. He was sentenced later to 4 months in prison, and that was in 1964, after the police broke up a public meeting at Chumeb, which was meant to be addressed by the late Nathaniel Mahwilili. And on his release, after serving his term in prison from Grootfontein prison, Tatekulu Kanana Hishono was ordered to return to Vamboland, his homeland. However, he decided to leave the country and traveled to Rundu with Helao Dandi, and at Rundu, he was arrested and detained without food for 4 straight days. He was eventually taken to Ondangwa and handed over to the Ondonga chief, at the time Chief Martin Ashikoto. He resumed his political activities, joining SWAPO's regional executive in Vamboland and advising Namibians who were planning to leave the country to join the liberation struggle abroad, especially in Angola, Zambia, and other countries. He liaised with the first SWAPO combatant who entered the country in 1965. And after South African forces attacked the SWAPO military camp at Omguruwombashe on August 26, 1966, many SWAPO activists in Vamboland were rounded up and arrested by the South African forces. Tatekulu Kanana Hishono was arrested also, and that was in December 1966. He was tortured by the police, taken to Oshakati, and kept at one of those police cells. He was later taken to Pretoria, and that was in January 1967, and kept there in solitary confinement for at least a year before being put on trial with the likes of Tatekulu, the late Toivo ya Toivo, in 1968. Tatekulu Kanana Hishono was acquitted, released, and returned to Namibia, where he took up a teaching post at Onambutu Village and continued his political work with the SWAPO regional executive members. He organized medical and other supplies for planned combatants at the time, those who began entering the country via Vamboland after the Portuguese rule ended in Angola in 1974. And in 1976, in April to be specific in terms of the month, he left for exile after being told that the South African forces, or soldiers if you like, were looking for him, and maybe he was due to be arrested or maybe killed if he was to be found. So hence he quickly ran into exile. He set up schools in the SWAPO camp at Kasinga and Juba in Angola, and later coordinated the education of SWAPO students on isle of youth in Cuba. After independence, he was elected the secretary of the Elders Council and became a member of the SWAPO Central Committee in 1992. And that was, of course, after Namibia gained its independence on the 21st of March, 1990. He was elected to his post with Elders Council at the Congress of 1997, and later again re-elected in the same position in 2002. As political advisor to the late Dr. President Sam Nujoma, he consults with leaders and communities in the regions before briefing and advising the president on various issues. So that shows that Tatekuru, the late Kanana Hishono, did not only work in isolation, but worked in consultation with his people and the masses. Since 1990, Tatekuru Kanana Hishono has also been the headman of the same village, in his own village, Onambutu Village, in Eenhana Constituency in the Ohangwena Region. If we can move a little bit further to look at his personal background in short, or in brief you like, Tatekuru Kanana Hishono was born on November 24th, 1936 at Ongulaya Netanga in the Ohangwena region. And in terms of educational background, he had a teaching diploma majoring in philosophy and political economy from Nico Lopez High School, Havana in Cuba, and that was between 1983 and 1986. He also holds a political study from the same school, Nico Lopez High School in Havana, Cuba, and that was between 1977 and 1978. He had a standard 10, which is today called grade 8, from St. Mary's High School at Odibo, and that was between 1950 and 1957. If we can look at his political career, political advisor to the founding president, Dr. Sam Shafishuna Nujoma, since 1997. As I said earlier, he was also a secretary of the SWAPO Party Elders Council since 1992, a position he held for quite some time, as he has been re-elected from point to point. He was also SWAPO Deputy Secretary of Information based in Windhoek between 1990 and 1992. He had SWAPO's Election Sub-Center Committee at Oshango in the Ohangwena region. That was before independence in 1989. He was also a SWAPO educational coordinator at ISIL of Youth in Cuba in between 1986 and 1989. He was the SWAPO Deputy Secretary for Political and Mobilization and Orientation between 1977 and 1990. And of course, he was also a principal of SWAPO schools at Kasinga and later in Juba in Angola between 1976 and 1977. He held a teaching post at his home village Onambutu Primary School in the Ohangwena Region, and that was between 1969 to 1976. And of course, Tatikulu, the late Kanana Hishono, he was also a businessman. He owned a cooker shop at Ongulayane Tanga between 1964 and 1969. And he also worked then at Chumeb Corporation Limited in Chumeb, a copper mine, between 1961 and 1964. And before that, he worked in a gold mine west of Johannesburg in 1958 to 1960. And of course, that was before he was then deported back to his home country, Namibia, after that. He's a cattle header, something he did between or in the 1940s. Well, we're actually mourning a political legend, a person that have done so much for Namibia's independence. If you look at his background and in terms of what you have said, and this special broadcast is coming to you live from Onambutu Village in Eenhana Constituency in the Ohangwena Region. And of course, if you are to look at the program of the memorial service, this is a state one, a very special one, organized by the government. And the directors of ceremonies on the other side, we are talking about Honorable Helmut Angola, a former minister, and the second person there in terms of the directors of ceremonies is Honorable Erika Shafuda, the Minister of Finance. This event started a bit early as 7:30 this morning, with the general public and media members arriving. And by 8, that was the guard of honor to arrive, the service chiefs, NDF, NAMPOL, and the Namibia Correctional Services arriving there. We also witnessed the dignitaries arriving, the members of the diplomatic corps, traditional authority leaders, executive directors, Ambassador Emilia Mkusa, Secretary to Cabinet, His Worship Omri Ond Kavanje, Mayor of Eenhana Town, regional governors, Honorable Kadiva Hamtumwa, Governor of the Great Ohangwena Region, members of Parliament, Honorable Nashinge, MP, and Emmanuel Nashinge, MP and leader of the opposition in the National Assembly. We also saw Honorable Sophia Shaningwa, Secretary General of the SWAPO Party. We witnessed cabinet ministers arriving. Honorable Dr. Sarah Kuwangelwa Madila, Speaker of National Assembly, and Mr. Amadila. Right Honorable Dr. Elia Ngurare, Prime Minister, and his wife Dr. Ngurare. His Excellency Dr. Nangolo Mbumba, the 4th President of the Republic of Namibia, and Madam Mbumba. His Excellency Dr. Hifikepunye Pohamba, 2nd President of the Republic of Namibia, and Madam Pohamba. They also arrived at the same event at Onambutu Village in the Ohangwena Region. The children, the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren, and representatives of the family. Miss Neshipewa Eenhana Hishoonno, the widow, and I guess by now the casket has also arrived at Onambutu Village, the homestead of the late Tatekulu MATHIAS Kanana Hishoonno. Her Excellency Miss Lucia Vetboy, Vice President of the Republic of Namibia, and representative of the Chief Mourner also arrived. And of course, we're now waiting for the singing of the national and AU anthem to kickstart officially with this memorial service of the late Tatekulu Kanana Hishoonno at Onambutu Village in the Eenhana Constituency of the Ohangwena Region, as well prepared by the state to take place at his homestead, which is also his village, as we were told that he was also a headman of that particular village. And maybe if we had to tell you in terms of what is likely to happen after we start with the official of this program, we are going to have some remarks by the directors of ceremonies. We're going to have a hymn sang from Ehangano, and that is hymn 432. We will have the devotion by Bishop Patrick Julume of the Anglican Church in Namibia, and the eulogy by Mr. Mukwaita Shanyengana. And we'll have the performance by the Namibian Defense Force, a military band. And then the messages and tributes would then kick in. The first message will be a message on behalf of the comrades and friends by Honorable Alpheus Aruseb, Member of Parliament, to be followed by a tribute on behalf of children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren by Miss Mariata Mutweneni Hashoonno Kaundinge and Miss Naita Tutaleni Hashoonno. That will be followed by a tribute on behalf of the family by Mr. Simon Hiteka. And of course, there will be a hymn from Ehangano, and that will be hymn 511. In other words, hymn 511. Thereafter, there will be a message on behalf of the Ondonga Traditional Authority by Onkwanilwa Philemon Shumbwa Nangolo of the Ondonga Traditional Authority. to be followed by message by Honorable Emmanuel Nashinge, MP and the leader of the opposition party in the National Assembly. Thereafter, there will be a message of the SWAPO party by Honorable Sophia Shaningwa, Secretary General of the SWAPO party. And thereafter, there will be a message on behalf of Sem Nujoma Foundation to be delivered by Honorable Naha Sangola, Chairperson of the Sem Nujoma Foundation. That will be followed by a message by His Excellency Dr. Nangolo Mbuba, 4th President of the Republic of Namibia, and later another message by His Excellency Dr. Hifikepunye Pohamba, the 2nd President of the Republic of Namibia. We will then thereafter hear tribute on behalf of the widow by Miss Monica Hangula, and to be followed by the performance by the Namibian Defense Force Military Band. After that performance, we will then hear the message of condolence of Her Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwa, President of the Republic of Namibia, to be delivered by Her Excellency Miss Lucia Vetboy, Vice President and representative of the Chief Mourner. And then, by then, that will be the last message of the day. Thereafter, we'll simply hear some announcements by the directors of ceremonies. And then, there will be a benediction by Bishop Patrick Jolume, Bishop Patrick Jolume of the Anglican Church in the Republic of Namibia. And of course, thereafter, we are going to close off with the AU and national anthems, and the viewing of the body would start, and the body will lie in state, as this is the state memorial service organized and prepared by the government. It's also suffice to mention that the burial will take place tomorrow morning at Eenhana Shrine in Eenhana Constituency in the Ohangwena Region. And that will start as early as 6:30 with the general public and media, members of the media arriving, and then to be followed by the Guard of Honor, service chiefs, NDF, NAMPOL, and the Namibia Correctional Services, dignitaries, members of the diplomatic corps, traditional authority leaders, executive directors, Ambassador Emilia Mukusa, Secretary to Cabinet, His Worship the Mayor of Eenhana Town, Omri On Kavanje, to be followed by the regional governors, and then, of course, led by Honorable Kadiva Hamtumwa, the governor of the great Ohangwena Region, members of Parliament, Honorable Emmanuel Nashinge, MP and leader of the opposition or official opposition in the National Assembly, to be followed by Honorable Sophia Shaningwa, Secretary General of the SWAPO Party. We will also witness cabinet ministers, Honorable Sarah Kuwangerwa Amadila, Speaker of the National Assembly, and Mr. Amadila, the Right Honorable Dr. Elia Chitunga Ngurare, Prime Minister of the Republic of Namibia, and his wife, Dr. Ngurare, His Excellency Dr. Nangolo Mbumba, 4th President of the Republic of Namibia, and Madam Bumba, His Excellency Dr. Hifikepunye Pohamba, 2nd President of the Republic of Namibia, and Madam Pohamba, the children, the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren, and representatives of the family, and then Ms. Deshipewa Elena Hishono, the widow. Later we will see the casket, and then Her Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwa, the President of the Republic of Namibia, Commander-in-Chief of the Namibian Defense Force, and Chief Mourner. And with her will be Lieutenant General retired Ndaitwa, the first gentleman. So, and of course, that is the program for tomorrow at the Eenhana National Shrine in the Ohangwena region. So we will then have to witness the proceedings of the burial of the late Tatekulu Kanana Hishoonoo. And of course, the order of procession will be led by the Namibian Defense Force chaplain and the casket, then be followed by Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwa, the President of the Republic of Namibia and Commander-in-Chief of the Namibian Defense Force, and the Chief Mourner, and Miss Deshipewa Elena Hishono, the widow. Now, we would want to cross over to the other team at Eenhana.
The casket is accompanied by the widow, the Vice President of the Republic, and representing the Chief Mourner, Comrade Lucia Vetboy.
And of course, we are now witnessing the casket arriving at Onambutu Village at the homestead of the late Tatekulu MATHIAS Kanana Hishoonno. And we would love to give to the team on site so that they can be able to take over the proceedings and tell us what's happening there in terms of the state memorial service of the late Tatekulu Kanana Hishoonno at his home village.
Let us remain standing for the national and AU anthem. Thank you very much. You may be seated. Distinguished and respected monarchs from all the corners of this beautiful republic. We are here to pay our homage to a fallen hero, to celebrate the life of a freedom fighter. Allow me to acknowledge the presence of some of the distinguished personalities who are amid us. Excellency Lucia Vetboy, Vice President of the Republic and representing the Chief Monarch, Excellency President Netumbo Ndaitwa. We have the Prime Minister, Dr. Eliangurare, first before that, the widow, the children, and the entire Kanana Hishoonoo family. Former President, Comrade Hifikepunye Pohamba, second President of the Republic, former President Nangolo Mbumba, fourth President of the Republic, the Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly, Dr. Sarah Kuwangerwa Amadhia and Mr. Madhila, Cabinet Ministers and Member of Parliament, Secretary to Cabinet, Ambassador Emilia Mkusa, Deputy Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, His Excellency Stefan Katutka of the Republic of Zambia, third former First Lady, Madam Monica Geikos, Secretary General of SWAPO Party, Honorable Sophia Nakango Shaningwa, Leader of the Official Opposition in Parliament, Honorable Emmanuel Nashinge, Honorable Kadiva Amtumwa, Governor of Ohangwena Region and other governors present here, Chief of the Namibian Defense Force, Chief Inspector General of Namibia Police Services, Comrade Mayor of Eenhana, and others mayors present here, Comrade Regional Councillors and Regional authorities, Onkwandirwa Wandonga, Tate Philemon Shumba, Nangolo, I greet you and I welcome you to this solemn occasion. My name is Kanguloki Helmut Angula. I'll be directing the program, assisted by my co-director, Honorable Minister of Finance, Eric Shafuda. Before I proceed with the program, I want to pay tribute to this comrade resting here, Comrade MATHIAS Kanana Hishoonno. I pay revolutionary salutation to him as founding member of our SWAPO or OPPO, the predecessor or the forerunner of SWAPO party. Comrade Hishoonno was among the founder members of the Ohangwena People's Organization, which became SWAPO party. At a time when joining the movement was an act of courage, punishable by imprisonment, torture, or death. He played a decisive role in the mobilization and political conscientization of the masses in the North, rallying communities behind the just cause of the national liberation struggle. Working closely under the revolutionary leadership of Toivo at the SWAPO office in Ondangwa, Comrade Hishoonno oversaw and directed cadres of the movement as they went into exile to join the armed and political struggle. He proudly himself as having been the secretary of the SWAPO branch in Tsumeb, while Comrade Ifike Punye Pohamba, by then Lucas Pohamba, was the chairman of the branch. He is credited with giving the first membership card to Dr. Hage Geinkob. May his soul rest in peace. In Tsumeb, and many others. His unwavering commitment to the cause made him a prime target of the colonial apartheid regime. As a result, he was arrested, brutalized, and deported, escorted to Pretoria, and where he spent on trial with 37 others. I came to know Comrade Hishoonno more closely in 1979 when he and other senior SWAPO leaders were sent to Cuba for a political education at the Nico Lopez Political Science Center. The training lasted 1 year and was aimed at sharpening the ideological clarity of the movement's leadership. Comrade Hishono distinguished himself through discipline, intellectual sharpness, and political maturity. Recognizing his exceptional capacity, the movement that is redeployed him back to Cuba shortly thereafter to pursue advanced political science studies for 4 years. At the time, I was serving as SWAPO representative to Cuba, the Caribbean, and Latin America, frequently traveling to mobilize international solidarity for our struggle. During my absence, Comrade Hishono with the responsibility of running our office. He executed these duties meticulously with a revolutionary discipline and integrity, ensuring continuity, security, and political coherence. On several occasions, he represented SWAPO at international conferences in Latin America, articulating our cause with clarity and confidence, earning respect for the movement. Beyond his firmness as a cadre, Commissioner was a man of warmth, depth full of stories, humor, and revolutionary wisdom. Descended from the Ondonga royal lineage, he possessed a deep knowledge of our people's history, tradition, and political evolution, which enriched his ideological grounding and leadership style. Upon his return to an independent or to yet to be independent Namibia, Comrade Hishono continued to serve the movement with distinction. As Secretary of the SWAPO Elders Council, we worked closely together at party headquarters under the leadership then of our former Secretary General, Comrade Nangolo Mbumba, while I served as Secretary for Information and Mobilization. He was a living archive of the movement, deeply knowledgeable in SWAPO policy documents, the party constitution, and international political dynamics. He played a significant role in the historic so-called Helmut Amen mobilization. He was a living archive of the movement, deeply knowledgeable in SWAPO policy documents, debate, and constitutionalism. Of course, there were many others who were participants because it was a committee, and I wanted to say today that those amendments, all the SWAPO party wings participated actively in those amendments to 2016. Katrina Liswani, their presence in those constitutional amendments. As neighbors in Eros, we shared a moment of comradeship and reflection. I must also add here that he is also among many, particularly in the wings of SWAPO, who were instrumental in structuring and establishing the SWAPO Party School. But although today it has many founders, fathers, and mothers who were never there before, by the time. As I say, as neighbors in Eros Park, we shared moments of comradeship and reflection often over our favorite drink, the London Gordon Dry Gin. Reminiscing about the long road of struggle, sacrifice, and victory. One day, we were caught red-handed by Miss Eenhana Hishoonno, the wife. I went to visit them, and usually we have our Gordon. I handed over the cool drink and others to Madam, and we continued to talk, and Madam gave us a chance as politicians to talk our things. Then immediately say, oh, kuna mano shamonja totomo. So natamani. Ngaka Gordon ondekana na mosho. Ngati katirire mu kharasa tokana kamugende toru kharasa. Opongone tuchando atu tostinga. Meri no kwazako. Oh, Hishoonno, oshini holike wange, kwa felenge, keta. I was left hanging with a glass, not knowing to take it immediately or to see where she's going to take Hishoonno's party. So that's how we stayed in Eros, visiting each other. Today, the movement has lost a gallant cadre, a disciplinary revolutionary, and a loyal servant of the people. But Comrade Kanana's contribution to the liberation struggle and the consolidation of our party remains etched in the history of our nation. Comrade Hishoonno lived for the people, saved the revolution, upheld the ideals of freedom until his final breath. We shall miss him, Comrade Kanana, and I'm sure his legacy will continue to inspire the generations to come. Rest in eternal revolutionary peace. I thank you. That was my introductory statement. Now, few household. When nature calls, I'm told rest in eternal revolutionary peace. I thank you. That was my introductory statement. Now, few household. When nature calls, I'm told to pay tribute and briefly. So, to conde to sejo program. The opportunity eshua manango to kisano grupa ontumba ai. Ngengo tu isano grupa ontumba. Isanare tamina o asikama sigoto mano statement de yoe opuo. Inatuharon tu to ganja e imbiro jimbe shashikari di momo program. O familia ya ganja nare o maimbiro o geri nare monsoron tonton kage no kuimka. Ngengo no verse asha. Ngengo ne imbiro jana unsika dero tajuka ko family. It is a gathering in Beshashi, don't know it's duplication of your time. To our beloved preachers, again,
it's right in front of someone.
This is the time to ask for the Lord to bless us. Kaisherongero karunga. So I therefore appeal for briefness. I talk this in the name of the elders, the sick, the children, the expecting mothers, and the lactating mothers. They have to go and nurse the children, they have to cook for the spouses. So we should not really spend a lot of time repeating ourselves. Avoid repetition, please. Now, can we sing hymn 432, Mehangano? This will be followed by the devotion by Bishop Patrick Julume, Anglican Diocese of Namibia. And those who don't have a program, that will be followed by the eulogy of Comrade Tatem Kwaita Shanyangana, and then performance by the Namibia Defense Force military band. Further announcement will be announced as we go. That Bishop.
Simon, the cable on the red carpet, go the other side so that they can pass through. Where's Abed? Where's Abed? Huh? Simon can stay on the close up, and then Abed can go out for a wider shot of the whole tent, of the tent, just like a stream wide, and then he can come in.
Director for Proceeding, Your Excellency Vice President Lucia, the widower, children's family, let me stand to the protocol. It's been established. I'm standing here bestowed to bring the devotions and prayer. And I will sum it up as been instructed. The reading for this devotion, it is very short, taken from the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 34, from verse 5 to 8, 3 verses only, which read as it follows. The death of Moses. And Moses, the servant of the Lord, died there in the Moab, as the Lord has said, in the valley opposite Beth. But to this day, no one knows where his grave is. Moses was 120 years old when he died. Yet his eyes were not weak, nor his strength gone. The Israelite nation grieved for Moses in the plain of Moab 30 days, until the time of weeping and mourning was over. beloved brother and sister, the widower, the children, let me sum up my scripture, which talk about the man, as we heard from the director of ceremony, describe him with that. Compare him to the scripture I have just read, the scripture for Moses, the great leaders who God raised to lead Israelis out of Egyptian captivity after 450 years toward the promised land. Moses was man of courage, visions, and a deep commitment to freedom of his people. Though he did not enter the promised land, his leadership made it possible for future generations to live in freedom. Like, or in the similar spirit, like Eenhana Kanana Hishoonno dedicated his life to liberations of this country around 1960. Here, we would like to take some example so that as we are in independence Namibia, we can take this example of for a freedom fighter, a man, a leader who inspire many, who inspire everybody. Eenhana Kanana Hishoonno. Today we stand in sovereign nations because of men and women like him who were willing to risk their life for future of generation they might never met. The peace, stability, and democracy we are enjoying and cherish today were built on the foundations of their sacrifice. That's why we are always say their blood is the water of our freedom. Director of Proceeding, allow me to say something in short. The psalmist reminds us that precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his faithful servant. Eenhana Hishoonno has left behind a rich legacy, a patriotism, humbleness, selflessness, and a nation building. It teaches us that truth is not found in wealthy or status, but in service to others. He showed us that leadership is about serving others, lifting others up, but not elevating oneself. Dear mourners, to come to the conclusion, and to Eenhana Hishoonno, the widower, to the beloved children, and to the entire Hishoonno family, we say today, your loved one, Eenhana Hishoonno, did not belong only to you. He belonged to the Namibian. You share him with the whole nation, irrespective of ever. And through your sacrifice, countless lives were touched. May the God of all comfort strengthen you and grant you peace in this sorrowful moment. To the people of Namibia, including our leader and our president, the passing of Eenhana Hishoonno, reminding us our past hard during the liberation struggle of sharing one trench with him, and also reminding us the cherishable time of our independence and after independence, where every Namibian has sole responsibility to jealously protect and guide and preserve the freedom of this country that was so dearly won. Moses died, but Israel continued its journey. Our heroes and heroines may depart, but their visions must live on in us. We honor them best by building a nation marked by unity, love, justice, peace, tranquility, humility, service for all, accountability, integrity, and equal for all, irrespective of whatever political, spiritual, race, ethnic, tribe differences. Let us honor them with our salutations of one Namibia, one nation under one God, one Namibian with one Savior, Jesus Christ. My dear colleague, like Moses lead his people toward freedom, Tatekulu Hishono, he lived not for himself, but for the good of nations. May his courage inspire us, his sacrifice guide us, and his legacy and the spirit remind us that freedom is a sacred, must never be taken for granted. To the leader, Tatekulu Hishono, who is my parishioner, Tatekulu Hishono, you have mentioned forth to your God, Lord, that now the Lord can let his servant to go in peace, because you have accomplished your goal for the liberations and free Namibia. Therefore, may the angel of the Lord lead you in the paradise. May the martyr come to welcome you and take you to the holy city, the new and the eternal Jerusalem of heaven. May the choir of angels welcome you where Lazarus is poor no longer. May you have eternal rest where sorrow and pain are no more. Shall we pray? Almighty God, we thank you for the life of your servant, Tatekulu Kanana Hishoonoo. You call him to serve. You strengthen him in times of struggle, and you use him to bring freedom and touch the light of the independence of Namibia. Now you have called him home in eternity. Comfort his family, comfort the children and the entire nation. Comfort also the whole nations. Bless our nations. Bless everybody, and also some people and abroad dear to us, and help us dearly to protect the freedom and the independence of our country. That Tatekulu Kanana Hishoonoo was part and parcel of this independence. We say this in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Thank you very much for that, Tate Julume. May I invite Tate Eenhana, representing or to present the eulogy. And as you come, the brass band must be ready. Kwaita, Secretary of Swapo Elders Council, who succeeded Corporation Hishoonoo.
Director of Proceeding, thank you for the opportunity. I'm here to read the short summary of the biography of the late MATHIAS Kanana HISHOONO. Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Namibia, Your Excellency, our second President of the Republic of Namibia, Your Excellency, the Prime Minister Now let me go back to our fourth president. Your Excellency, Comrade Nangolo Dr. and our Prime Minister, Dr. Elian Gurale, our Speaker of the National Assembly, and let me stand a protocol already established by the Director of Proceeding. My name is already mentioned that is in Kwaita Shalengana, commander name Tapati Paka. I have known the late Hishono in 1959 when I was at the Engela Boys School. That time they were organized people to join the OPO, Ovamba People Organization, together with his colleague or his co-leaders like Ifikepunye Pohamba, like Comrade Benny Amadila. I think he was the one who used to translate when they organized the meeting. We attended those meetings. Kahumba Kandola, Natanela Mawilili, and the others. And then they had a slogan which was very simple for people to understand. Kwasha Kwaena. That means the time has come for us to understand and to realize that we need to fight for our independence. So then we went to the OPO because that was the time for OPO. This is a short summary because the whole history of Kanana might take us the whole day. Biography of Eenhana Hishono MATHIAS Hishono. Kanana MATHIAS Hishono was born on the 24th November 1936 at the Onambutu in the Ohangwena Region. He received his basic education at the St. Mary's School, Odibo, where he completed his Standard 6, 1950 and 1957. He later trained as a teacher and served at various institutions from 1969 to 1976. He taught at Onambutu Primary School, now in the Ohangwena Region, still known as Onambutu. In 1983 and in 1986, he taught politics and economy in Nico Lopez High Primary School in Havana in Cuba. Comrade Hishono became politically active in the late 1950s while working as a migrant laborer in South Africa gold mine owned by Durban Deep. During his period, he communicated to Andimba Atoivo, who was organizing or mobilizing the Namibian people in Cape Town to join the Ovambo People Organization, and he regarded Atoivo as his political mentor. Comrade Hishono was a founding member of the SWAPO party, of the SWAPO, at that time it was not the SWAPO party, in 1960. In 1961, he began working at the Tsumeb Corporation, a copper mine, and was elected as a secretary for the branch of SWAPO. In 1964, he was sentenced to 4 months imprisonment after the police have disrupted the public meeting in Tsumeb at which Nathaniel Mahwilili was supposed to address the meeting. After his release from Grootfontein prison, he was ordered instead of going to Vambulan, Comrade Kanana attempted to leave the country, and they traveled to Rundu with Comrade Helao, Vini and Dadi, where Comrade Kanana was arrested and they transferred to Ondangwa, and they later on handed over to the King of Ondonga, Chief Martin Ashikoto. His political activities by joining SWAPO Regional Executive Committee continue and advising the combatants who planned to go in exile. Those people who were planning to go in exile, especially in 1960s, 64 and so on, they used to be referred to the Kanana to show them the way to Zambia via Kavango. Some of the leaders I think are here. I have not yet mentioned names. They were referred to come to Onambutu, and there's a teacher who knows, because he was also working in Livingi, he knows the word and the road and showed them how to go through and reach Botswana in order to go to Zambia. In 1966, when the South African army attacked the SWAPO in Ngulumbasi, Kanana was also arrested after that. And many of the SWAPO members were arrested. They suffered by the South African forces. And again, Comrade Kanana was taken to Oshakati, where he was tortured by the force regime of the South Africa. And he was held in a solitary in confinement for a full year. In 1968, he was tried along on Dimba Toivo, but was acquitted. He returned to Namibia and assumed his activity as a teacher and the supervisor of the activities in Namibia. While continuing his political work within the SWAPO Executive Committee, after the end of the Portuguese colonial in Angola, 1974, he organized medical and material support to the plant fighter who used to enter Namibia. In April 1976, Comrade Hishoonoo went into exile after learning that the South African regimes, the forces were looking for him. He helped, in exile, he helped to establish a school of SWAPO camps, like in Kashinga, Njaba, in Angola. And later on, he was given a task to coordinate the education of the SWAPO students in Cuba, the island of the youth. After Namibia's independence in 1990, he was elected as secretary for SWAPO Party Elder Council after the passing on of our late Mzee Kaukungwa, may his soul rest in peace. He was again re-elected as a secretary for SWAPO Party Elder Council in 1997 and 2002 as a political advisor to the founding president, Sam Nujoma. He consulted the regional leaders, the community, and advised the president according about the need of the community and the people. Since 1990, Comrade Kanana Hishono has also served as the headman of Onambutu. Continue his leadership and still continue to mobilize people for the liberation of the Namibian people. He was determined that to make sure Namibia is free, and he worked very hard and was committed to that. He served his community with the commitment, honesty, and the diligence. He left his dear wife, Mepulun de Sipewa, Eenhana Hishono, 7 children, 50 grandchildren, 7 children, 50 grandchildren, and 28 grandchildren. The late Kanana Hishono rests in internal peace. This is how the family organized his violence. His history, just a short one, with those few that can also add that let the soul of our comrade rest in internal peace. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Comrade Kwaita Shanyangana, for the eulogy. Now, performance of the Namibia Defense Force Military Band.
I know I'm going to go this way.
Thank you very much. Now I have the honor to invite Comrade
Go to the podium.
Alpheus Naruseb, on behalf of friends, Comrade Naruseb MP. Apparently, I omitted to acknowledge the presence of freedom fighters. You acknowledge comrades, veterans of the liberation struggle. I know for sure that when Comrade MATHIAS left Onambutu, he was under the protection of plant fighters who helped him with his and to Angora until he reached the Swaporia bases. Comrade Naruseb.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Comrade Gangolohi Helmut Angula, the co-director of our proceedings at this very solemn occasion. As you were told, dear Monas, my name is Alpheus Naruseb. When I learned about the passing of Datekuru MATHIAS Kanana Hishono, I told my wife that there is one funeral in the north that we dare not miss. But when his son-in-law, initially he also informed me about the passing of this great man a week ago, but he followed it up with a subsequent call on Wednesday, that was this week, informing me that the widow, amongst consultations he had with her children, when he, as the son-in-law, and I'm speaking about the executive director of our party, Franz Gaudinge, when he mentioned that, why don't you try Dadegu? He probably said Dade, because I don't think he said Dadeguru. Why don't you try Dade? He apparently told him that seek no more. That's then the honor that was bestowed upon me, even though I had so many questions that were playing themselves up in my mind. Why me? In terms of age-wise considerations, I don't really regard myself as a friend of Tatekuru Kanana. I regarded myself and I saw him as a father figure from the initial stages that I was exposed to be with him, and I will tell you when that happened. Swapo liberation movement activities, both in the Thomas and at that stage in my life in the Ohangwena region, working for a multinational company at Rosing base in Arandes, when one of the great outstanding sons of the soil who were tasked to run the administrative machinery of our party then at the national headquarters immediately after independence approached me. The initial approaches were already March, April, there around. But having been exposed to take annual leave, not annual leave, unpaid leave from the place that I was gainfully employed since June 1989 to be part of the election machinery of our party, I was a little bit hesitant when the initial calls came around April 1980 and April 1990 to come and join the headquarters in Windhoek. But ultimately, the persuasive nature of Comrade Moses Karweb and Festus Naholo, their team of illuminaries that were at the headquarters, convinced me to the extent that towards the end of January, towards the end of September, can I have a little bit of water? Some of us have been out of staying in front of so many people for quite a while. And when you do get this opportunity, you get, the throat gets dry, probably because of some bugs playing parts. Bear with me. Now, I decided 1990 September to come and join that core group of leadership at the headquarters. 1990, with specific assignment of being called the coordinator of mass organizations. Now, little did I had any clue what my task would be. But being someone who is fond of reading, I read up and I informed myself that mass organizations would include like liaising with the student organizations. I see some of the very outstanding student activists of yesteryears looking at me as the Prime Minister. My task was to coordinate and liaise with workers' unions, church organizations, any entity that would enable our party to gain maximum exposure in our drive to mobilize the people of Namibia, that having voted for SWAPO during the 1989 elections was not a coincidence. It was the ultimate outcome of hard work that went into play, and that hard work had to continue. Now that was my exposure to Tate Kanana at the initial stages. And I thought that must have been a divine intervention. Having been part of the internal leadership of the party machinery up until 1989, my silent, unspoken wish was to get that exposure to interact with the cream of the leadership of our party that function outside the country. And without Comrade Karweb and Naholo realizing, they have opened up that window of opportunity for me to get that exposure. One of the people that I was able to learn from was none other than Tatekuru Kanana Hishono. His slow method of engaging even the Kamachonas like me then. Nobody dared to refer to me as a Kamachona. Today I will put up some strong arguments, because look at me now. Now, he was able to engage all of us without looking at whether you are from Ochimbingwe, or whether you are from Kakatus, or whether you are from Katinakati. He was able to relate to all of us youngsters. The Katinakatis came eventually, gradually, through the process of engagement, of grooming leaders at all levels of their functionality, with the eventual desired outcome of having leaders ready to take over when they are like now responding to higher calling. All was not smooth sailing, as you all know by now. The early days of establishing the party machinery, very strategic moves had to be embarked upon in terms of the eventual economic sustainability of our party. Comrade Kanana was part of that team, together with so many others who were so instrumental in the establishment of the party companies that we know today that is sustaining our party. Kalari Holdings, Holdings, you name them, Seret. So please, even though I thought I am not Saf Holdings, Holdings, you name them, Seret. So please, even though I thought I am not sufficiently who am I, a mere youngster in comparison to the late Tate Guru Kanana, the person that I so dearly respect in terms of his standing, in terms of what he stood for, exposed to the then, like some of us, that the group have been able to identify youngsters in their own words that would secure their pension when they have reached the stage that they would be expected to leave the political dome. Now, I said it was not smooth sailing. It was not easy. There were times that the famous pronouncements of our party coordinator then, don't worry, the money is coming. Can someone recall that? Helmut, can you recall? Don't worry, comrades, the money is coming. In the meantime, please, let's do with the carpenters, those small fees, and those things that from time to time we were able to be given to sustain us during the very difficult times of the establishment of the party, national movement, political party that we know today. He was one of the crucial elements. I have so many things here, but seeing that we were told, Narusep, hold your horses. You tall guys, when you start to talk, you don't want to come to an end. But I, from the bottom of my heart, want to thank the good Lord that He enabled me and my wife to travel to come here and to be with the mourning Hishono family. I want to register our profound sense of condolences to the widower, her children, grandchildren, and indeed the broader community of this area, Swapo community. It is inevitable, and it would be hypocritical of me to come and stand here and talk at this auspicious, solemn occasion without not associating Tatekuru Kanana boldly with Swapo, because that was his life. Thank you.
Thank you, Comrade Alfius. Member of Parliament, as you know, Parliament comes from the word parl, talk. So Parliament is allowed to talk. Sometimes I don't envy Comrade when parliamentarians talk. And she sits there throughout the day. Yes, thank you, Comrade Naruseb. Now, can the children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren come and pay their tribute? When I met children, great-grandchildren come and pay their tribute. When I met Comrade Kanana Havana, as I said, normally people are usually coming in my area of jurisdiction. Where did they go to school and what? Engage Comrade Kanana in talk. The children, I'm waiting for you. I am not making a speak. So when I was engaging Comrade Kanana, I didn't need to ask which school he goes. As we go and speak English, I hear, though he understood. Yes, let's welcome. And as they finish, I will want, of course, tribute. Be ready.
Ohangwena Hishono, Your Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, the President of the Republic of Namibia, Your Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, the President of the Republic of Namibia, Your Excellency the Vice President of the Republic of Namibia, Right Honorable Dr. Elijah Ngurare, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Namibia, Your Excellency Dr. Nangolo Mbumba, the Fourth President of the Republic of Namibia, Tatekuru Onkwanilwa Philemon Shumbwa Nangolo of Ondonga Traditional Authority. Please allow me to stand on the protocol as established. We stand here in a small number representing the children of Tate Kanana Hishoonno, in a very, very small number, as you can see. These are not only the children of Tate Kanana. Tate Kanana have a lot of children. The children from his brothers, like the brother who left in exile, Tate Kandimfe Hishoonno, his children are standing there. They did not mourn their father, he was left in exile. We have the children of Tate Kanana from struggle, from Cuba, from all over Namibia. I want to make it clear that we stand here on your behalf, all of you, our brothers and sisters out there. The day our parents crossed to exile, we were just in the house, 3 of us, and myself. Our elder sister was at Onambutu, there going to school. We were told our parents will never come back. We have been there. Our mother and daddy, they sent the message that my 2 brothers should be taken to our mother's brother, Tate Kulumpolo, at Ondingwanyama. That's where they have been until our parents come back. Myself, I was taken to our grandmother, our father's mother, and my elder sister, the firstborn. We were staying with our grandmother until our parents came back. We thank God for bringing our parents back. We have been here being released by the colonial regime that time. Myself, I was not using my father's surname. I was using my father's brother's surname, Haindongo, because the boys, they used to come at school looking for the children of Kanana Hishoonno, looking for the mother of Kanana Hishoonno, looking for the relative of Kanana Hishoonno. So we have been using the different surnames. Hilia Nangula Ndinombili Hishoonno Msati, our firstborn, is describing our father as follows. Tate okwali onambili yetu holu nene no hole laye katunifiku na tuke idimbwe. Okwali ongekeleki wetu, omlongi wetu mengala mwenyo detu, okwakala onkwateliko mesho family yetu, otelilo ngashi hapo mutate. Nde watu pandula kalungashi nunona vetu venganga ndeta velilongo mshamuye. In short, he thanked God for bringing our father back. He was a peaceful man, very calm, our comforter, and we thank God that our children also find him, then they take a lot from him. Tumweneni, myself, describe our father as he was a peaceful father, very calm. He will never shout on you, no matter how angry he is. He will tell you calmly, straight on point, just for you to understand and realize your mistake. He teaches how to tell the truth. He has to be honest. Told us you better tell the truth. And if somebody will get angry of what you said, he is angry because you told him the truth. Daddy was an educator. Our mobile library, we know it's not only us who get education from him. As I said, also our brothers out there. He educates us in each and every corner of our life. And myself, who is speaking here, when I got my first child, He taught me how to hold the baby. He was like our mother at the same time. Daddy was a panel beater. He will tell you in peace, not shouting, but you will understand. For example, when our sisters from Germany, like the one who is standing here, the first time they come at this village, in this house, they find it difficult. We normally, our norms, we have to wake up morning, go in the field and cultivate, and them they are not used to that. Then you have to wake them. Naita, Nangula, what are you doing in the house while others are in the field? Who do you think you are? Nicely, and they will understand, oh, so we also supposed to join others in the field. In short, I will end there and then my sister will continue.
Thank you so much, Tumwaneni. I stand on the protocol observed. Like my sister said, my name is Tutaleni Mangaleta Margaret Neita Hishono. What a lot of people don't know, my parents named me Tutaleni, and the day I was born, my father informed Tate Dimo about it, Tate Dimo Amambo, and Tate Dimo was so happy for my father and said, it's a child born in the struggle. I will name her Neita, and that's why you all call me Neita now. You don't know about Tutaleni. Only when people see my ID, they're like, where is the T coming from? And that's generally what my father was about. I just want to say shortly, my father would love what was the setup here. He lived for moments like this. His people are together, protocol is observed. This is what my dad lived for. So while you're all mourning, please know we are all celebrating. We're celebrating a life well lived. We're celebrating the lives he touched. I want to just tell you, my dad, as you might know, my dad was a storyteller. He will give you a lecture, he will tell you a story, and he did the same with our naming. We are all named like a sequel, the 8 of us. Mehilia Nangula Ndino Mbili. Me Mariata Tumweneni. Sakaria Inamtwika Mudale. Abednego Linovene Despignola. Tutaleni Margaret, and then Tate Dimo named me Neita. Ndoilita Hikofele Okwalukilwa Tate Kulu, he was named after our grandfather. Talenine Namibia Shila Manguluka, Meita. Nandendelao Linda. You know, after my dad returned from exile, my parents returned from exile in 1989, or our parents. Hikofele has been Ngelo for very, very long. My parents were lucky to have 2 more children in an independent Namibia. Our siblings standing here as well. Talenine Namibia Shila Manguluka Nandendelao Letu. And when you take Talenine, how she describes her father, or first, Linovene Abete. He says, my dad was a whole inspirer. He was exemplary and a guider. A father that I really loved. He was very responsible, full of fun, and he had a strong sense of humor, and he was always focused on his goals. Like you can see, if you started a liberation movement that has grown big, that was started from, Tate would always say it was started by peasant workers. We were peasants, Atine, we were peasants, but he meant we were peasant. And if people that are working in the field can come up creating a liberation movement that ensured the aim was achieved. The aim was independence. It was achieved. We're standing here 36 later in an independent Namibia. Circle of life, circle fulfilled, mission accomplished. That's why we are celebrating our dead. One thing my brother also said, because it's always an elephant in the room. The household, your dad is SWAPO, you are with this political party, how are you doing that? Dad told my father, Dad told my brother, you go and represent Namibia in parliament. Go do what you do. Fulfill your mission. Talenine said Tate was charismatic. He was a people's person. He was funny. He was very firm and resolute. He was a very incredible man. He always smelled amazing. And he knew how to break the ice with a funny joke. Dad wouldn't just come up here and let you all sit there. He would break it with a joke. But we'll get to the joking later. Then Dokwati, Tate was a very, or she says, Tate was very principled man.
Tato kwati ndendo kwa shanga ni mweshwambo tate okwati kapena nande efikulimwe akengelele oshuwana kapena nande efikulimwe.
He was a man who knew how to serve the nation. And from my side, I would say, my father was respected by a lot of people because he respected everybody, no matter your file and rank. He taught us, you greet the security guard, you greet the cleaning lady, you greet the gardener, you greet everybody until further up. No one is above and underneath anybody. That's what Dad taught us. Everybody's equal. And he liked to greet people in their mother tongue. He wouldn't just appear somewhere and not know where he is. He would ensure he knows your mother tongue so that he can greet you in your mother tongue. And he would take pride in it and he would greet us. So now I know whichever region I'm in Namibia, I better know how to greet the people in their mother tongue. Dad was full of wisdom, as you all know, and he was a very humorous man. No matter where the humor went, if it went high or low, those who know. Dad could make you laugh and cry at the same time, but you would still laugh more than cry. He would really ensure that we are all educated, and in our household, you read the newspaper. If the newspaper comes in the morning, or if anybody forgets, go and get the newspaper quickly. Everybody in the house has to read the news, from the oldest to the youngest. Our father was also very, very much a gardener or a garden. He sowed many seeds. All of you sitting here, he planted a seed in you. And that seed, the result, is what you're doing today with your life and with your work and with your convictions. You are all the fruits of those thoughts that he planted. And we used to see you coming here asking for advice. We are aware he was a real educator. He was a revolutionary. He was a statesman. Or let me change it. He's a teacher. He's a revolutionary. And his faith, that Namibia will be independent, his faith that he will see home again, his faith that we are returning. So we would like to say thank you for sharing our father with us. You're equally his children. just like we are, to the first like we are, to the family Philemon Hishono. We see you. Tate really you. Tate really loved his brother and his other siblings. It hurt him that to leave him in Angola. It hurt him that in the funeral. That's why we are celebrating both of the brothers equally here today, because they both went and joined their mother. So may our dear father, your Tatekulu, rest in power and in peace. Yalo.
Thank you very much, the children, the grandchildren, for that tribute dedicated to you.
Yes, well, indeed. We are mourning and at the same time celebrating a life well lived. Like in my language, there is a say that goes, Wa pandula noyakanga, meaning that if you are not thankful, one day you will still. Hence, we are thankful that Tatekulu Kanana Hishono, who was born on the 24th of November 1936 and passed on the 14th of January 2026, lived up to the age of 89, showing that he is blessed. Now we move on to the podium to hear from the speaker there.
Nangoro Mbumba, Your Majesty Tate Omkwanirwa, dear directors of ceremony, with your kind permission and in observance of the protocol already established, allow me to proceed. Dear Monas, my name is Ngiteka Samsonia Ngiteka, a Deputy Senior Traditional Councillor of Amtea District. I stand before you today with a heavy heart to speak on behalf of the Akwamaranga clan, the family to which our beloved Tate we Tate Kanana. We on that day, a dark cloud covered our sky and turned our daylight into darkness when we received the painful news of Eenhana Hishono. Since that day, the same. Life down, and a deep silence has filled the space. Life has down, and a deep silence has filled the space. Was not just an ordinary family member. he was the pillar of our family. He was unique and deeply special to all of us. He was unique and deeply special to all of us. Our unrivaled hero of the liberation struggle is no more. Our historian's voice has fallen. A voice that once kept our stories alive and our identity strong. Our greatest gift that Kanana gave us was his love and care for the family. He was always ready to help, always ready to guide, and always ready to listen. Tate Kanana was a true unifier, and he taught us to love one another, to respect one another, and to stand together as one family. Tate Kanana was a man of deep knowledge and remarkable memory. He was a natural researcher and a true historian. It was very rare for him to visit you and leave without sharing a story, a lesson, or a piece of history. He carried our past in mind, and he passed it on. In our family, he was a very, very important person. There was no journey we could begin and no important decision we could make without first seeking his wisdom. Fellow mourners and friends, today we must accept the full weight of what we have lost. We all know that death is always a permanent loss, but remember, losing a historian is equivalent to losing an entire national archive, like a whole library to ashes. Today, this is not a family loss. The Namibian nation is equivalent to losing an entire national archive, like a whole library to ashes. We must also speak about our gratitude. On behalf of the family, our gratitude. On behalf of the family, we would like to extend our sincere thanks for love, strength, care, and the support she gave to Tate Kanana, during the difficult of Angola and Namibia. Mimi Despewa's life is a testimony. She stood by her husband through thick and thin, in good times as well as in hard times. Mimi Despewa Omkorike, words alone cannot fully express our gratitude. Your uncompromised support means more than to him and to all of us. Then we'll never know. Dear Memendeshipewa and the children, we speak words of comfort today. Please accept our heartfelt condolences on the passing of your husband, your father. His legacy will live on through the love, wisdom and value he instilled or implanted in you. Know that you are not alone. You are with us. And finally, as we lead our hero to rest tomorrow, we release him into the eternal peace. May the precious soul of our beloved go well and rest well. Que el alma preciosa de nuestro querido Padre Kanana Hishono se recupere y descanses bien. Adiós.
Tate Ngiteka with your family for the tribute. May now we go with the hymn 511, Mehangano. Thank you very much. Tatonkwanirwa engayo tarikwisana we pison serikali na alilisa eje mezepo jerengajoe onomora andura coordinator America Shafuda will take over for a moment.
yaro tange umwiriki shwa penjo mpitonji no opondijesha moshituthi dhimburuko shatate Kanana Hishono ashkomangina andi tumburasha onda indaharashke ndikuindire nde indiro janje kandwete talika kare ina ikungwe oshoka akuruntu yetu nangwe oyakara pamwe hapathanomea hapathanomongwa tavindirwa komagumbo hapukururathana no hakwathirathana minimo inji ondali shenduvu natango mphano wapo pimangina ndia toti up to now we are doing good with time management nandihara oku kayone thimbo joe ngashitocho iri kwatanawa ondahara shiko kukuindira itetekeri chawe mbia watetekere nao showe ya mphano okutomo namo anene ntwae kembo erimo namba yirongero kukara yatumburwa namo memoria service amu oyo ikare itetekeri chanje ikara ya wani nzo kara uvite watumburwa ngaete tumbura shike mbano takarandura kwa shona vice president presidente wetu onkuru tate ifike punye poamba presidente wetu ontitatu tate Nangolo Mbumba na prime minister wetu nena oteni mphano opotu yetu dhimburukweni tate Kanana Hishono okuzanga onkaro enkena akaranate na ashomwe wetu ndiroshanawa erero jondonga otalitinge Hishono karaire mokangundu kakurundu atalina wanako nakoni yoveta do shongo shondonga atalina wanako nakoni yoveta do shongo shondonga na ganyo ngereta puma Kanana Hishono okutameka pemvura do milongo ina shampo ndenze anana ngashi kuhole onjo kono nangashenje shipopimo ndenze ane ye amombara yonkwanirwa kauruma kerifasa ye amo ngashi ngeina yo ketuthiga pomwenyo kwena kuvuru kweno mbiri tate kauruma kashimwethereni okwadhane thimbo njono antu yagongara tulimo ntuma shwe amuya popitho nkwanirwa otakutumba poha no nkwanirwa eriko shipundi wakani ngapo no shima shimwina ndishimona naro ndege kuranga ata teshimwethereni teshirombwerejo pundi ono kwa kwaniri ivingira mwa achange tati hambangi tandikwefu itandikwefu nande itidimoneni no pango nkundamu opone aza eskunjono apewe Onambutu njimwatara takutuo kujerenga jonkunda Onambutu tati hambangi tandikwefa kwempata nemo kukurutso twakumwa nemvikinina tati tandikwefa itidi mwino pango nkundane namo tatongwa nyiro kwa chai shimwethereni kana konkunda koshikanjo sheni unoko kwa kuzini Kanana hayo kuna tate kulo kuno Onambutu geimpeni yotati ndaino kuli yoti korutu neno ndiboita iswe Kanana hayo kuna tate kulo kuno Onambutu geimpeni yotati ndaino kuli yoti kera ndu da popi mpano kucho kwali winjenjengwa oshoshiri ngaye ngundakara naye thimbo livuli thithike ngampono twakara naye otandi shishiri parekerera kucho kwali ehoronjo konona yo kwali ehore omashenjo tekuyolitha okwali ona tangu atseithirenje kucha ngashinga onjokono na popi wampano kucha shwa kwatwako kawango ovetosho yali atirigano yali haikukanja konkwanibwa wae ni huwaza yotafora kanja maiti na gashikoto otarombwereje ne tati shinenda ihuya onkwanirwa unyo kwali ena eroro ndishikuchomulishi ya yotati ne pohamba hapo iapwiti wanenga kwanga kujo kade kokoro kwanga kujo kade kokoro yote esimbonjo no neri kwa kapito marovugamwe haganingwanga konkoko kumwe uri mondonga po mashaka kuti imbundu kene ndishuja dukhinyo dushenyu bikyo tate kanano tati anto yanesha anto yatameke kumbike huya oyatameke ya mota inwi naja ya mota anwo inju neneke kesiku oyaka kwatwa neko TB siya kwatwa ko TB o TB okithingwe korora ya moyaka tameke neta korora kota kuzo kapunga yonsa mane umwali wobwanirwa tato umwaro ka arasa kamu mapunga ke koganuka monali ka arasa kamu mapunga ke koganuka monali yongwanirwa dakai kwa theri nje hetamweterenye kwimbundu nendini limwe jotaje twampono mombaranu omwali ne muno nsane umwe harongo ko kashira okwali ne hakamo ekosta mwana kaje wango wonkwanirwa kwaje horomarovu tate kanano tati shwendini jafikino shimbundu yongwanirwa tati alovu ekene okanana nongwanirwa eline mpono anu atataro ntune kuja ai taganuka mo paife ayo yamono arongwa itatapusho marovu garongo tati ono arongwa itatapusho marovu garongo tati teti shitasho kwa kucha ashinu kifamo mapunga hara ya nombike papuko tate kanano kwa winje njo kiro kokora itatukamane nene tekanano kwa winje njo kiro kokora itatukamane nene otuvite kucha onguru mambo ngashi kwa jo archive ashikonda harashiko kukirira bemonserekazi nuno ngwenerago pethimbo ndije kanitho jatate kanana kangishono one shasho nguru mambo jino taipopiwa oyaeni oni mwakara monguru mambo ashikesho nwe murombwere ashikesho no mwamono taningo sha nawa ashikesho no mwakara muwete tanyanga dara nasho keshitungwa kutseni erero jondonga nepangero ngashimwazi no kuronga natate kanana no swapo senyo tuno kuhambera kakarunga twaje tupakana enuno ngonji wetu kwathera minimo njongero kerero ongero koswapo ongere okepangero ondahara wotu kuthimo madira dironge yago kucha anwayo mahinyo kuthwapo no pethimbo ndino tatu kwa tate kanane hara wotu kuthimo madira dironge yago kuchanike setatukareni onatse tatu dhimburukwa ngireni nondinekera kucha wetu etukarera pohono tatu tsikire no kundimburukwa no kunsimanika nguriki onsimanikwa o inandihara ndivundakanise thimbojo wati naturikwate nawa nandihulire mangamba
Kwanirwa kereko gasana wa Your Excellency and representative of the chief mourner, the widow Mekulu Ndeshipewa Eenhana Hishono Unona na Kwapatabeshe. Your Excellency Dr. Hivige Punyapohamba, second President of the Republic of Namibia, Your Excellency Dr. Angolo Mbumba, fourth President of the Republic of Namibia, Honorable Prime Minister of Namibia, Dr. Elia Ngurare, Honorable Dr. Sarah Kugongera Amadila, Speaker of the National Assembly, and Mr. Madila, let me stand on the protocol that was already established by my co-director. I am Erika Shafuda, as was already mentioned or introduced, and it's really with a deep sense of humility and gratitude that I am serving as the co-director alongside Comrade Helmut Kanglohi Angula, his memorial service of a father, of a veteran, and all attributes that you already described by those ones who spoke before me. I also just want to take a second to really pay just by way of saying I thank him, and I thank him on behalf of all myself then, for Tate Kanana was one of our parents, the island of Youth, Cuba. We are celebrating a political commissioner whose sacrifice contributed to the foundation of freedom, democracy today in the Republic of Namibia. May I now call on Honorable Emmanuel Tinke, who is the Member of Parliament and leader of the official opposition party in the National Assembly, to deliver his message.
Thank you very much, directors of ceremony. I stand here to deliver a message of tribute from the second majority political party in the Republic of Namibia, and I will read our message from the IPC on behalf of the flag bearer of the IPC. Observed, but I will mention a few. Dear Vice President, representing the Chief Mourner, Meme Lucia Vetboy, the widow Mekulu Ndeshipewa Eenhana Kanana, the children and the entire beloved family, Your Excellency Dr. Angolo Mbumba, the former President, Your Excellency Dr. Ifike Punyapohamba, our second President, Right Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Elia Ngurare, Dr. Ohangwena Madira, our first ever female Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Lucas Muha, Chairperson of the National Council, the King of Wandonga Kingdom, Tatekulu Philemon Shumba, and all cabinet ministers here. I would also want to acknowledge the presence of our Vice President, Patriot Trevino Forbes, and also all the political and traditional and religious leaders present. Dear mourners, comrades, patriots and compatriots, the President of the IPC, we did accordingly. It is with profound sorrow and heavy heart that I have learned of the passing of Tatekulu Kanana Gideon Hishono, a stalwart of our liberation struggle, a committed patriot and fearless servant of the people of Namibia. His life was one of sacrifices, courage, and unwavering devotion to the ideals of freedom. Of Namibia is leaving us. Their memories of the struggle will always be with us. The liberation struggle was founded on 3 pillars: freedom, solidarity, and justice. History gave us freedom. What are we doing with that freedom? How do we honor our heroes and heroines if we do not fulfill the ideals of the liberation struggle? The ideals that face the colonizers with bare hands until the armed struggle was a necessary factor in contributing to the 3 fronts of our liberation struggle. We have attained freedom that our departed Tatekulu Kanana Hishono fought hard inside and outside Namibia since the early 60s to achieve. As we reflect on the life of our departed comrade, patriotic Namibian, let us ask ourselves some poignant questions. Have we shown this solidarity with the toiling masses of our people? Have we delivered justice to all our citizens? We cannot pay lip service to the honoring of our heroes as Tatekulu Kanana Hishono unless we fulfill the ideals of free and democratic Namibia where all our citizens are equal, with equal access to socio-economic opportunities and services. We must deliver justice in all spheres of our citizens' lives in order to honor our heroes and heroines. We must demonstrate that we care about the poor and the hungry if we are to honor the ideals for which they lived and fought all their lives. We must honor our heroes by demonstrating we care and serve the sick and the elderly.
You are watching and listening and following the memorial service of the late Tatekulu MATHIAS Kanana Hishono, coming to you live from Onambutu Village in Eenhana Constituency of the Ohangwena Region. And thank you so much for sticking around to follow this. However, we would love to apologize for the poor quality of both visual and audio. And we are now going to cut to NBC2. That's where you can follow this because we are moving to the news at 1. Thank you so much.
When
This is NBC1, It's ours.
Hi there, I'm Wala Bwalia.
And I'm Rusangula. On this season of Property Menu, we'll be taking you on a journey through Windhoek's most desirable suburbs and gated estates.
In each episode, we're diving into a different suburb, showcasing the property types and price ranges, and tell you how you can secure your dream home.
We'll also explore the amenities each suburb has to offer: schools, parks, shopping centers, and many more.
Plus, we're bringing you expert advice on market trends and everything you need to know about buying property.
And don't forget our tips on interior and exterior deco.
The thing about panels and what it does to spaces is that it adds texture, depth, and dimension to your space.
Property Menu is your guide to Namibia's property market.
Catch all the action of Season 2.
Only on NBC2.
Good afternoon and welcome to this midday news bulletin here on NBC. I am Blanche Koreses. Thank you so much for tuning in. In our top story, Namibia is considering nuclear energy as part of efforts to strengthen energy security and reduce its reliance on imports. This was said by the Director General of the National Planning Commission, Dr. Kaire Mbwende, when he addressed the annual meeting of the World Economic Forum underway in Davos, Switzerland.
Namibia is exploring nuclear power as a long-term solution for its growing energy challenges. Dr. Mbwende said Namibia imports about 60% of its electricity from South Africa, while less than 60% of the population has access to power. He said local electricity generation is largely dependent on hydro and solar energy, both of which are increasingly affected by recurring drought linked to climate change.
Being the largest producer of uranium in Africa, being the third largest producer of uranium in the world. And we say, what do we do with this product? We cannot just keep on exporting it in the low form. We have to do something about it. I think that's one aspect of the debate in Namibia. The other aspect is obvious. That is that energy is a driver of development, an indicator of the social and economic progress of any nation. As such, we regard access to affordable energy as a right to which all our people are entitled to.
Dr. Mbwende said government has developed a national nuclear strategy that covers governance, institutional capacity, and skills development, and is committed to full compliance with International Atomic Energy Agency guidelines. He added that Namibia is exploring small modular reactors as a possible future energy option. The NPC's Director General added that Namibia plans to work with experienced international partners and other African countries to share best practices as the sector develops. Johanna Uritos, NBC News.
The Minister of Urban and Rural Development, James Sankwasa, has given the Rundu Town Council 2 days to find a contractor and start work on covering the trenches that posed a risk to lives at the Tutungeni residential area.
This one is a council job. Town council job. And now that is an emergency, we treat it in that way. Get 3 quotations. 1 quotation will not work. Urgently apply for a direct procurement exemption through the ministry to the Minister of Finance. Can apply directly to the Minister of Finance for direct procurement, because the Minister of Finance is the one who authorizes to give a direct procurement without tendering. And since we are dealing with that, this emergency, we do it in that fashion. But not one quotation. Provide at least 3 quotations. And the quotation must be thorough.
The council has until Friday to get the quotations and see to it that were comments on Monday.
This part of the street up to there. Yes. They're going to Sawiyama, they're going to the police station, whatever can be part 2. Yes. For now, the emergency part of this one, because the houses are falling. You see. So this street, this is part 1. Yes. And this one goes together with the street. Correct. Yes. You are correct. The other part that are still at least not too much damaged, we can leave for normal management. Yes. This one becomes abnormal management.
Sankwasa warned against returning money to Treasury while the region remains with problems.
I don't want to hear of that issue of money returning to the coffers, not even in this ministry, where we have situations that are unresolved. Exactly. And mind you, this is January already. February, 10 March, they start saying close the books. So that's why we must drive at 200 kilometers per hour, but no accidents.
Tutungeni location has been facing challenges for a while now, especially during the rainy season. One of the trenches became bigger last year, risking about 3 houses, one positioned along the edge of the trench currently. There appears to be real risk that with continued heavy rains, these houses could be washed away. The trenches have also caused damage to access roads.
Oshana Police Commander Naftal Sakaria has launched operation called Njadila at Oshakati. The operation is named after Deputy Commissioner Frederick Njadila, the head of Crime Investigations Division.
Njadila, who served as the head of the Crime Investigations Division since 2024, will now be serving in the same position in the Commerce region effective next month. Commissioner Sakaria said the operation is meant to celebrate his outstanding work during his tenure in Oshana, particularly in the areas of crime prevention, investigation, and the apprehension of suspects. He noted that Njadila's strong leadership in investigations